Well, everybody's heard about the bird. Bird, bird, bird. The bird's a word. Well, a bird, bird, bird. Bird is a word. Well, a bird, bird, bird. Well, a bird is a word. Well, a bird, bird, bird. The bird's a word. Well, a bird, bird, bird. Well, a bird is a word. Well, a bird, bird. The bird's a word. Well, a bird, bird, bird. The bird's a word. Well, a bird, bird, bird. Well, a bird is a word. Well, a bird, bird. The bird.
YouTube, what's happening? It is Gino Bonino. Hope everyone's having a great day and a great holiday season. Christmas just around the corner, which reminds me, it's a good time, by the way, to, if you are involved at all in auctions, thinking of participating as far as being a buyer and stuff, this is actually a very good time to buy. And the reason is, a lot of folks, their money is tied up in Christmas presents and stuff like that, and so there's less competition as far as buying, and also sellers tend to be pretty motivated. I know myself included. Stuff I'm selling, I tend to be less picky about price and whatnot, just because you know, you want the extra money to be able to buy Christmas stuff and whatnot. So again, that's just kind of my 2 cents. I'm going to do a very rare haul video. This is stuff that's kind of backed up for a while. I haven't really been able to put it away. Kind of a long story, but anyway, now I want to show you guys what I got. First thing I'm going to show is this book here. I got a couple of them. This is one of those books that I've wanted quite a while. This is Batman 396, the first Black Mask. I call myself basically a Marvel collector plus Batman. So pretty much anything Batman I like. I've been a Batman fanatic since a little kid, since the cartoon. It was one of the only things that we got on our television set through our antenna growing up. So I'd run home after school and watch Batman. It was cheesy as could be, but still it was cool, and I've always been a Batman fan ever since. In fact, the first Halloween costume that I ever remember being was Batman. I'm sure you guys know exactly the one I'm talking about, kind of the cheesy gray costume that with the face built in. And what I ended up doing, to be honest, I couldn't breathe worth a damn, so I took scissors and cut off the bottom part, so just the top of me was Batman and the bottom was me. I probably have pictures of that somewhere, but anyway, this is one, and I did get this one on auction, and not only did I get that one, I got this one as well. This is from I believe Mr. Unknown Comics, or Unknown Comics. Really nice guy, participates quite a bit lately in auctions. I bought the set. One is obviously a slab, which I don't know if I'm going to keep or sell this one, and the other one is a newsstand, which I'll probably end up pressing and seeing what I can get out of that too, because that's a pretty nice book. So that's that. The other one, next one, is Star Wars number 41. This is the reprint. Just a word of caution to folks that are going to buy. Check this area of your books. Star Wars books kind of have a kind of a two-tiered system. If you see the solid white box, my understanding is that is the actual first print, the real one that kind of holds the most value. I think these are Whitman reprints, the ones with the diamond. So keep an eye on that. As long as you know you're buying the diamond, it's fine, because typically they're less expensive. But do be, as far as from a collector standpoint, you know, don't think you're buying one and pay that price and then get stuck with the other. But anyway, this is the first cameo of Yoda, and Yoda right now is kind of hot because of the Mandalorian series, and again, decided to get a copy before. I kind of missed out on the Star Wars stuff. I was right at that age where when this was hot, I wasn't really collecting and whatnot, so again, I have to unfortunately go back and pay the tax associated with that of not getting it. But anyway, 41, this is first Yoda in cameo. Again, it's not a real super you know, high priority appearance. Next book is first issue special. Don't be mistaken, think this title of this book is Manhunter. It's easy to do. But the actual title is called First Issue Special, and I guess it features Manhunter. This is the first Mark Shaw, or the first Mark Shaw as Manhunter. There's been a series of him, of Manhunters, and he's the fifth one. So this is the first appearance of him as Manhunter. Next book that I picked up is Fantastic Four 113. Again, none of these are in super high grade. They're just basically filler books, or books just to have. This is the first Overmind, which is a possible character. Again, anything Fantastic Four now, in my boat, is probably worth collecting in getting first appearances, just because we see the writing on the wall. We know that this Marvel's going to be doing this, and I think they're going to stealth announce Fantastic Four. So what's going to happen is it's going to be one of those things, kind of like Spider-Man in Avengers, where you're going to have everything's going to be going around as normal. Then all of a sudden the news is going to come out that he is going to be Fantastic Four is going to be in a movie that's just down the road a little bit. So again, probably something to keep your eye on if you see him. Next one is a really kind of a rare book. It's black and white, Mystic Hands of Doctor Strange. Again, kind of falls somewhere between a comic book and a magazine. The inside is indeed black and white. It's a Perillo cover, Perillo art, which is, he did a really good job, if you can tell, on Doctor Strange. And my understanding is it's about a 10,000 book print run, which is pretty low. Again, worth having. It's a pretty decent copy too. Next, Moon Knight. This book has been one of those that kind of hot and cold. Moon Knight number 14, the Stankiewicz cover, and I guess the first Stained Glass Scarlet. My understanding, the talk is that that is going to be a character in the TV series or the movie or whatever, where Moon Knight is coming. We'll have to wait and see. Again, this one is kind of pretty easy to get in low grade, like this one is. Much harder to get in high grade, 9.6, 9.8, mainly because it does have that purple and black border. Shows spine ticks real easy. So again, I just wanted, like I said, a filler copy. Got this one from Roman Curtis, also through an auction. This is Spawn 234. I thought it was the first Haunt, but I know he also has his own series, so I think it's the first appearance or something like that. I don't know. But anyway, Haunt is kind of a spin-off character from the Spawn series. I got this one at a con in Myrtle Beach not too long ago. This is Spider-Man 239. This is the second Hobgoblin appearance, and actually the first battle. So the first time that Spider-Man goes against the Hobgoblin. And I buy these up whenever I can find them. This is Spider-Man 293, the second part of the Kraven's Last Hunt. And once again, the rumor is that Kraven is going to be in the upcoming Spider-Man, either MCU or Sony. It's hard to say how they're going to use him, but I know this story is probably going to have bits and pieces of it used in the movie. So again, it's whenever I find any of the parts 1 through 5, I pick them up if the price is right. Next book, I've got a few copies of these, but again, always good to get if you find them in just a couple in dollar bin or whatever. Avengers 227, which is Monica Rambeau as Captain Marvel, and she's the, I think is it the daughter or is it the friend of Captain Marvel from the movie? For some reason, I think it's Monica is the, I want to say the daughter, but I'm not sure. If you know, put it down below. But anyway, it has to do with basically the best friend of Captain Marvel from the movie, and she somehow gets powers, and this is her first. Actually, I don't know if she's in costume here, but it's her first appearance. This is one of those weird books that, again, I saw and they kind of spiked artificially. I didn't really want one just because I missed out. I know this is kind of a dollar book fodder, but on the other hand, when I saw it, the price was right, so I went ahead and picked it up. It's one of those annoying books that I kind of wish you had, but then don't. Next is Captain America 275. This is second Baron Zemo. He dons the purple mask and everything just like normal. So this is, again, one of those books that kind of a spec book, depending on how the movies and stuff like that do. There's a whole bunch of Captain America, that have kind of jumped up based on speculation on the movies and stuff. This is the first John Walker, the super patriot who becomes Captain America for a short period of time. And anyway, again, there's a few books that kind of from this run that have sort of become prominent and good to look out for. Daredevil number 21, first cameo of Superior Spider-Man. Once again, with the Spider-Verse movie, second Spider-Verse movie, there's been a lot of talk on who's going to be used and not used. So again, it's good to have for that reason. These are still from the con. This is Eternals book 7. And this is a bunch of first appearances of a bunch of the Eternals that are named. Jeremiah, again, kind of hard to pronounce, but again, this is their first appearance. Gen 13, number 1. They put out a bunch of different variant covers for this issue. I'm a big fan of Pulp Fiction, and obviously this one is a spin-off or a swipe from Pulp Fiction poster. So again, that's kind of the reason that I like this issue. Kind of a cover buy. Green Lantern, Green Arrow. This is issue 116, and this is Guy Gardner becomes he stands in for Hal Jordan just temporarily, but again, it's the first time that he kind of takes the mantle of Green Lantern, and now, as you know, it became a more permanent thing later on. It seems like I show this next thing often. These next series, I've been finding them. They come to me. It's not even like I come to them. Iceman 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And believe it or not, this whole 4 books were less than $1 each. Again, Oblivion makes his first appearance in this series. He's one of the characters that get talked about. And again, the books will sit here and probably do nothing. And then the minute Oblivion is confirmed to be in one of the movies or somehow getting used in the MCU, this will be one of those books that go absolutely insane. So if you see these cheap, real cheap, my recommendation would be to pick them up. Khazar or Khazar, the Savage, number 1. Just the first issue. Nothing real major happens in here. There's a couple keys in this series, but nothing really, worth, losing your mind over. And then Punisher number 4 from the first series. Notable because it's the first microchip from the TV series. And Spawn 206. Once again, it's main thing with these 206 or 200 books. They have relatively low print runs. This one's in about the 15,000 print runs. So whenever I see these, and I'm trying very hard to complete my complete run of Spawns. So this was one I didn't have. A couple little older books. Submariner number 6. This is the second appearance of Tiger Shark. And just a real cool classic cover. This one I've been looking for a while. It sort of tends to get hot and cold, depending. Right now, it's probably on a bit of a decline just because the series has ended up. But still a book that I've wanted in my PC for a while. This is Teen Titans 44. Of course, first appearance of Nighthawk. This guy right here, Dick Grayson, who was Robin, becomes him, kind of loses his identity as Robin, and then instead takes up the mantle of Nighthawk. And then I believe it's an early appearance. I don't know if it's second, but an early appearance of Deathstroke, and also his origin. And also the first Jericho, who's the son of him. This guy is his son. And he, at least in the series, he plays a real cool part. He kind of helps in the downfall of Deathstroke. I don't want to spoil it, so I won't give too much away. I have another copy of this, 338, excuse me, the second appearance of Beta Ray Bill. And again, just a cool book. And then bought this at my my local comic shop, Amazing Spider-Man 430. This is First Cosmic Carnage. In essence, takes over the body or takes over the persona of Silver Surfer. And again, a good book to have. Another one I picked up was Star Wars Darth Vader #3. First appearance of Dr. Alfra. My understanding is she's getting her own series of some sort, possibly on Disney Plus. So we'll wait and see. This book is kind of one of those that we'll let marinate a little bit and see how it does. And then I saw these books. Reggie showed these, a bunch of them, and I knew that my shop had them, pretty reasonable, so I went and picked them up. These are actually they classify as X-Men books, but the title reads New X-Men, so you may have a hard time depending on where your shop puts them. They may put them in the N's, they may put them in the X's, but as far as the my comic app, it lumps them in with X-Men books. So this is issue 114. Issue 114 is the Cassandra Nova. Issue 116, just a real cool frost cover. 118, this is Stepford Kukos, which is kind of a funky name. 117, this is First Beak, just kind of a major person, but minor person, excuse me, yet somebody that, with the way the X-Men books are going, you never know what's going to happen with these characters, so it's probably good to get them if you can get them cheap. And then 144, this is Weapon 15, kind of the Weapon X program. This is the continuation of that. Then a couple minor books. I'm looking to complete this run. It's actually an excellent read. So if I find the filler books, I do get them. That's the Vision 8 and 9. I know they've showed stills from the WandaVision TV series, and it looks like they're kind of going back to the black and white. Almost reminds me a little bit of Lucy show. So again, it'll be interesting to see how it works out. And then I picked this up from Mutant Beaver Comics, who's actually an outfit out of Canada. And I kind of want to give a thanks to them. They sent me this book, and it was damaged in transit. I emailed them, and not a week and a half later, they fixed it and sent me a replacement book. So thank you guys. Mutant Beaver, if you're not familiar, they're kind of like, they get exclusives that they put out, and they are out of Canada. So again, it's kind of inconvenient for some places to have them shipped, but my experience with them is they give excellent customer service. We're almost done. Last thing is I also got these from Mr. Unknown. These are Tales of Suspense. Really not a lot of keys in here. Just this one's pretty beat up. This is issue 66. Main thing is I love to collect Silver Age books. They were those things, again, when I was a kid, we tend to chase things that remind us of our childhood. That's why newer collectors, they're all over Venom and stuff like that. But these were books that I always remember seeing on the walls when I'd go to comic book stores and stuff like that. So they always piqued my interest. Issue 72, a little bit better book, and has a Nazi symbol on it. 74. 76, and if I didn't mention, once again, I got these auction from Mr. Unknown or Unknown Comics. 78, 81, 82, 83, 85, And these are all kind of in the low to mid-grade range, but again, it's still good. You know, my philosophy on 12-cent and 10-cent books is they ain't making anymore, so I always, if I see them for a decent price, I'll pick them up. 87, I might have already said that. 88, cool red skull cover. 90, 91, I think that's First Crusher. 92, 95, and last but not least, 96. And my very last book, guys, first of all, once again, thank you for sticking around to the very end. I just got this one today. This is from Roman Curtis, great guy. Kind of, again, a staple on auctions. Have always been a very proficient buyer, and now I think he's selling some of his books, his duplicates and stuff like that. But great guy, has a great collection, and he just sent me. I won this in auction. New Mutants 98, 9.4. I had probably 3 or 4 of these, and again, I kind of oversold. I sold each and every one of them back when the first and second movies were coming out. Did well. I'm not complaining, but I kind of miss having one in my collection. So that's why I kind of picked this one up. If you can tell, if you look right over Cable's eye, his electronic eye or his computer eye, there's a printing error, which is why it's a 9.4. I mean, it's got super tight corners. It's a, you know, it's a 9.8 all day except for that. But again, I'll probably keep this one. I'm not absolutely sure. What a good habit to do, and again, if people flip books, what I noticed a cool thing to do is you kind of use the market to your benefit. So a good time to buy is when there's not a lot of talk about stuff, and then as soon as movies get announced and whatnot, the market goes crazy again. This is the kind of book I was talking about from new collectors that remind them of their childhood, because stuff that came out in the 90s, and I don't even mean new collectors, I should say, you know, younger collectors. And this is the kind of stuff where that age folk are getting money in their pocket. You know, they're making some good dough, and now they can finally afford a little bit pricier thing. So this book's crazy. There's a lot of them out there. It was printed heavy, but yet this is one where you're not going to find these in the dollar bin or anything anymore. If you do, you're just very, very lucky. The price on this book is on an upshot. It's probably going to raise until, I know there's been some talk about a Disney coming out with their own Deathstroke movie. I didn't mean Deathstroke. I mean Deadpool. It's a ripoff of Deathstroke, sorry. Anyway, so the idea being that the market right now is on an upswing. So if I do decide to sell, I'll probably wait a little bit more. But again, I like to have one of these in my PC, kind of like SpiderMan 300. It's just good to have one in your collection. It's kind of one of those staple books that, you know, any good collection should have. And that's it. So once again, guys, thanks for sticking around. 22 minutes, a long time. I do appreciate, guys, the views. I do appreciate any comments or anything that you have to say down below. Give it a like if you like the books. If you liked anything about it, I do, like I said, I do appreciate it. If I don't see you before then, have a great holiday. Merry Christmas, Kwanzaa, Happy Hanukkah, all of the above. And keep collecting, guys. Happy hunting, and I'll talk to you later. Bye for now.